Because I like to go skydiving. Those of you who are not in the know, tax parachutes for a living. Uh,
Good evening, everybody. It's 8 o'clock, and welcome to the Friday Night Fun Net on the K9RFD Repeater in Rockford. My name is Jim. My call is K9GCR. I'm located here in Freeport. I'll be your host this evening. The purpose of having this net is what the name implies, to have fun. This is what this hobby of amateur radio is all about, in addition to providing emergency communications if when the situation warrants. A secondary purpose of this net is providing on-air being placed for all amateur radio operators. Everybody is welcome to check in. You do not have to be a member of any club, organization, group, or association to participate in this net. All you need is a valid FCC license. This net meets each and every Friday evening at 8 p.m. This repeater is the PL 114.8 plus offset. You need to have that programmed in your radio in order to have access to the repeater. For those of you who may be using older radios that do not have PL capability, or the PL on your radio is not working properly, you can check into the Friday Night Fun Net by using the repeater output frequency, the straight 195 simplex. If I hear you, I will acknowledge you and check you in the net. Also, this is the Friday, September 15th, 2023 edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. This net is being live streamed on the internet around the world. Mike, K9MED, is live streaming this net. He is also recording this net for future replay on the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. Go to Friday Night Fun Net, the Central Facebook page, punch in your call sign, follow instructions, and you're in business. And those of you who are listening via the internet, you want to check into the net via the internet, to go through Mike's K9MED, check into the internet that way, and he in turn will relay your internet checking to me via the radio. Also, if you're out in the sticks, you can hear the repeater, but you can't get to it due to conditions. You're too far away from it, or you don't have internet access. Just give me a call on the Friday Night Fun Net Central hotline. Area code 815-232-3636 or 232 FNFN, the local Freeport number. I'll take your check-in over the phone, but try to check in on the radio if all possible. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to take a short time on both stations. If you got family, business you got to attend to, if you're concentrating or driving, or you got something else going on, but you can't stay for the net, we'll take your short time on mobile check-ins. If you have traffic, we'll do your traffic right away. After that, we'll take general check-ins. First, we'll take general check-ins from northern Illinois. Next, we'll take general check-ins from southern Wisconsin. After that, we'll take general check-ins from anywhere in northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin. When you check in the net, state whether or not you have traffic. Your traffic consists of breakfast, bike rides, marathons, or ham fests. We've got the big radio expo coming up next on Sunday of next week. More about that later on. Then we'll do the, let me reset. Okay, we'll do the Friday Night Fun Net Tech Corner. If you have any technical questions you'd like to bring before the net, or you having a problem with your power supply or amplifier, what kind of an antenna do you want to put up on your tower? What kind of a radio do you want to buy? Base, mobile, all mode, APRS, FT8, or what have you. If you have any technical questions, please feel free to ask them, and we'll do our best to try to answer them for you. Then we'll do the Friday Night Fun Net DX Corner. Did you make a contact this week? If you did, we'd like to hear from them. I had 2 contacts I made last Saturday, both stations overseas. I'll tell you all about them later in that segment. Okay, then we'll do our swap net traffic. We'll have our swap net. If you have any happens to buy, sell, trade, or want to relate to hobbies or amateur radio or computers, we will do that. The topic this week is Radio Shack. I heard this information on the Wednesday evening swap net we have every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. here in Freeport on the 147.390 repeater. Amateur Radio Newsline. That was last Friday's broadcast. A company down in El Salvador, Central America, is buying out Radio Shack. What they're planning to do is they're planning to open up the loft stores in this country. So I'm happy to report that Radio Shack is coming back. I want to get everybody's opinion on what you all think about that and what have you. We're definitely going to be having fun tonight. Okay. Well, all the so-called formalities out of the way, let's get underway. Do we have any short-time mobile stations you'd like to check in? Please call now.
9KZT, Larry, short time.
Alpha 9, Victor uniform. Michael in Shanesville. I have no traffic.
AC9NW, Tom and Roscoe, short time, no traffic.
M9BWM, short time, no traffic.
All right, we got 4 stations checked in short time. K9KZT, Larry in Rockford, the king of CW. We'll get, well, that's right, your short time. Thanks for checking. I'm sure we'll hear from you on tomorrow night's Rag Tune Net. I was going to ask you about what you think about Radio Shack coming back, but we'll do that tomorrow night on the Rag Tune Net. Thanks for checking in. A9VU, Mike in Janesville. I've got you checked in, Mike 73. You have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. AC9NW, Tom and Roscoe. I've got you checked in short time. Thanks for checking in. You have a good evening, too. N9BWM, Bruce. There's a blast from the past, as you used to see on the rock and roll station many years ago. N9BWM, Bruce and Rockford checking in short time. Bruce, thanks for checking in. 73, you have a good evening. Okay. Are there any more short-time MOA stations like to check the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KD9VHH, Dwayne and Rockford, short time. No traffic.
Okay, I need that call. You might want to give your call fully and phonetically, if you would, please. Kilo Delta 9 and Victor, and I need the last 2 letters of your call.
Kilo Delta 9, Victor, Hotel, KD9VHH, Dwayne and Rockford.
Okay, Dwayne, I haven't heard you in a while. Thanks for checking in. You have a good evening and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. Any more short-time mobile stations would like to check in? Please call now.
Hey, Jimmy, this is Tom up here in Janesville, WI9 Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I have to get up early tomorrow and drive the school bus. I got to take the girls' tennis team up to Wanakee, so I'm going to go ahead and check in early so I can go to bed.
Okay, Tom, sounds good. Thank you for checking in and have a safe trip to Wanakee. Hopefully the girls do well. Thanks for checking the Friday Night Fun Day. Enjoy your evening and drive carefully tomorrow. Any more short-time mobile stations for the Friday Night Fun Net, please call now.
SPJ, short time.
N9SBJ, Scott at the beautiful Rock River Yacht Club in downtown Rockford. Okay, Scott has got you checked in. Southern, you have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. Any more short-time mobile stations would like to check in? Please call now.
KC9QPO, Paul and Low Spark. Short time tonight, 73, be clear.
K9QPL, Paul and Loves Park. Oh, short time. Okay, Paul, I've got you checked in. Southern, you have a good evening. We'll catch you on the different nets next week. Any more short-time mobile stations for the Friday Night Fun Net, please call now. Okay, we have a good turnout of short-time stations. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 short-time stations. Okay, that's pretty good for the short-time group. Thanks for all you would check in. Okay, now let's go to general check-ins. At this time, I'll take general check-ins from Northern Illinois. Would like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net at this time. Please call now. General Checkers from Northern Illinois would like to check the Friday Night Fun Net. Please go now.
KD9MED, Mike and Rochelle.
K9MED, Mike and Rochelle. Okay, Mike, I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes around the table. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KD9YBG, no traffic. Rockford.
Okay, I got two stations checking in at the same time. KD9YBG, Dale and Robert, I got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes around the table. And Kerry, I believe that was you, K9MED. Was that you trying to check in?
Roger that.
Okay, K9MED, Kerry and Robert, I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you in a few minutes for your DX report and later on for the roundtable topic there. Okay. Thanks for checking in, Kerry and Dale. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now. Are there any more stations from Northern Illinois who'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now. Okay. Well, short list from the general check-ins from Northern Illinois. Let's see how many we can get from Southern Wisconsin. 8 stations in Southern Wisconsin would like to check the Friday Night Fun Net. Please go now.
Kilo 9, Zulu, India, Papa, Joe in Janesville, no traffic.
K9ZIP, Joe in Janesville. You got a good, beautiful signal coming into the repeater tonight, Joe. I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins for Southern Wisconsin for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Well, it is Friday night, fish Friday night in Wisconsin. Everybody's at their favorite bar, restaurant, or tavern, eating their catfish, buffalo, carp, bullhead, northern pike, walleye, muskie, bluegills, or what have you. Those of you in the Milwaukee area, you're tailgating at the American Family Field. You're eating your Polish sausages, hot dogs, bronze kielbasa, or Braunschweiger. And those of you, the rest of you are eating some of that famous Wisconsin cheese. I don't know what the score of the Brewers game they're doing. They're playing the Washington Nationals at American Family Field. Well, go Brewers. We'll put it that way. I think both the Cubs and the Brewers are going to make the postseason this year. So, okay. At this time, I'll take general check-ins from anywhere in Northern Illinois or Southern Wisconsin for the Friday Night Fun Net. Please call now.
10-9. LB Dave, in and out, no traffic. From Faithful.
N9 DLB, Big Dave here in Freeport, about a half mile east of me. Okay, Dave, thanks for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. You have a good evening and enjoy your weekend. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from anywhere in Northern Illinois or Southern Wisconsin for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KC9 GCR. This is November 9, Oscar Echo Golf. Chris in South Beloit. Good evening, Jimmy, and I have no traffic.
N9OEG, Chris in South Beloit. Got you checked in, Chris. You got a good signal, are you? You're on a different radio, is that correct?
Right now I'm on a TYT 9800. It's a quad band, and I just unboxed it tonight.
Oh, sounds good. Is that a mobile or a base radio? What is that?
It's a mobile radio. It covers 10 meters, 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters.
Well, that radio sounds beautiful. Okay, Chris. I'll get back to you a few minutes for the roundtable, Chris. Thanks for checking in. Any other general check-ins in northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin Friday night fun that please call out. This is the ID went off. This is K9GCR, the Friday Night Fun Net, and the K9RFD Repeater and Rockford transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net Central and Freeport. Any other general check-ins from northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin for the Friday Night Fun Net, please call now. Okay. I do have some, we'll go with the traffic portion now. I do have some traffic to pass along. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what time it is. The Kishwaukee Valley Radio Club will be conducting a VE testing session Saturday, September 16th, 2023, which is tomorrow. It will be at the Community of Christ Church in DeKalb. If you want more information, contact Steve, the Whiskey 9 X-Ray Foxtrot at the W9AXD at Comcast.net for more information. I repeat, VE testing session will take place tomorrow, Saturday, September 16th. I'm not sure what the time is, but it'll take place at the Community of Christ Church in DeKalb. If you want more information, contact Steve with Whiskey 9 X-Ray Foxtrot at W9AXD at Comcast.net for more information. Okay, at this time, does anybody have any traffic that they'd like to pass along? Please go ahead. Okay, let's go with the Friday Night Fun Net Tech Corner. This is where you get a chance to ask any technical questions. Are you having a problem with your power supply or amplifier? What kind of antenna do you want to put up on your tower? What kind of radio you want to buy? Base, mobile, all mode, and or else APRS, FD8, or what have you. You have any technical questions? Please feel free to ask them. We'll do our best to answer them for you. Anybody have any technical questions they'd like to bring before the net? Now, somebody's trying to get in. Well, unfortunately, all we're getting is mic clicks but no audio. You might want to increase your power or change the location. Let's try that one more time. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna move on. Does anybody else have any technical questions they'd like to bring before the net? Okay. Well, there being no technical questions, we'll move on to the Friday Night Fun Net DX Corner. This is where you get a chance to, if you meet any DX contacts this week, we would like to hear about them. Does anybody have any DX reports that they'd like to pass along? Please go ahead.
KD9MED.
K9MED. Okay, Kerry, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Jimmy. Good evening, everybody. I was on the air for 6 hours this week. I made 76 contacts in 22 countries. Here in the United States, I worked 5 of the special event stations for the Route 66 commemoration. Those were W9AXD stations. And I worked one of the stations that was doing the 9/11 commemoration. That was K4A. I think that was Monday, right? Yeah. Free preset. One of the days was a good day for 12 meters, and I worked Cayman Islands ZF2WI, and that's not that far away, but I just mentioned that one because he gave me just a huge signal report, bowled me over. And on 10 meters CX1LA in Uruguay, free set. I worked 2 more Chinese stations this week. VI4VIP in Nanjing, which is 7,000 miles away. And that was on 15 meters. And BA7NQ, he's in the Foshan district of Guangdong. Distance of 7,700 meters, 7,700 miles. Probably my most distant contact this week. Free set. And I got a new country this week, also on 15 meters. A61BG in the United Arab Emirates. This guy's in Abu Dhabi. I was interested to learn that Abu Dhabi's population grew from 25,000 60 years ago to over 2 million today. It's a fast-growing city. And Dubai is even bigger, I guess. So that's it. Thanks a lot. KD9MED.
Well, congratulations, Kerry, on working all those different stations from the Route 66, 9/11, Cayman Islands, and Uruguay, China, and UAE. That's that Abu Dhabi. You were great. I can believe that a lot of people probably moving in from different countries to that area, that region too. So okay, sounds good. Okay, does anybody have any? Before I get to my DX report, does anybody else have any DX reports they'd like to pass along? Okay, last station unable to copy. You might want to increase your power or change the location. Let's try that again, please. Okay, John and Elton, KC9DDF, was that you trying to check in?
Roger. And we're in Mount Morris area. Mount Morris. Roger. Yes, it does.
Okay, I'll get back. Okay, I'll go ahead and check you in there, John. Thanks for checking in. Just okay, everybody, one moment, please. I got to shovel around my papers and what have you. I'll be right with you.
We'll be just one and done here. One and done. Just wanted to say hello. I'll just have to stop there. See a little bit close. Thank you, Jimmy. Everybody, have a good weekend. We'll be out to Melbourne here next week. Have a great weekend.
7-3, John, sorry we can't make it this week, but hopefully you'll have better luck next Friday night. Thanks for checking. I already got you down. So okay. At this time, does anybody else, before I get my DX report, does anybody else have any DX reports they'd like to pass along? Saturday of last week, I made 2 contacts. First contact was on 14.3 to 10 megahertz at 23 hours. Sierra Papa 8 Romeo. And I had a time trying to locate that call on that paperwork. I have all different call signs throughout the world. I asked him what country he was located in, and he didn't come back. He did not answer me. But later on, I heard he was contact with another station. I heard him say he was in Poland. Last Saturday at 14.310, 20 meters at 23 hours. Sierra Papa 8 Romeo in Poland. It was giving me 8.0. It lasted that I ended the contact at 23:25. The second contact was on 14.268 at 00:07. That was about almost 45 minutes later. The station was Lima Oscar 5 Kilo. He was giving me 8.0. I couldn't find out where he was. We ended the contact at 008 hours. Come to find out, looking at all the different lists of call signs throughout the world, he was down in Argentina. Those are the first overseas contacts I made in about a year and 4 months. Last contact was an overseas station, was in Croatia. But those are my 2 contacts, Poland and Argentina. That Argentine station also giving me 8.0. Okay, those are my 2 HF contacts.
Very good, Jimmy. The SP8R is the club station at secondary school in Landcut, Poland. And I'm looking at the photo of their antenna farm on QRZ.com here, and boy, they have some tall antennas there for a high school. Southeast of Poland in Albagoa Village.
That's great from the high school there. That's great. That's wonderful. Oh boy, the band conditions were sure great the last Saturday. If the station in Poland and Argentina were giving me 8.0, boy, that was just terrific.
Yes, the conditions are just superb, and they're only going to get better for the next couple of years, and then they'll still be great for another 2 or 3 years after that. So it's never been a better time to dive into DX. They're out there. KD9MED.
Oh boy, that's great. That's great. The 2 overseas contacts. That's great. So yeah. I think Illinois QSO party's coming up next month, and of course we got the Pennsylvania and New York QSO parties coming up too. I usually participate in those QSO parties there every year. So we'll see what happens. Okay, Kerry, that's great. So okay. Before we move on, anybody else have any DX reports you'd like to pass along? Okay, any more stations who'd like to check into the Friday Night Fun Net, please go now. Alright, now let me get my papers shuffled again. Next time in business will be the SWAT net. All items bought, sold, or traded must be related to the hobbies of RAM trading or computers. All items bought, sold, or traded must be the property of or in possession of the person who wants to get rid of stuff. May mention the price to order, but any handling should take place either in person or over the telephone. Also, no commercial business of any kind is allowed. Does anybody have any swap net traffic you'd like to pass along?
swap things to pass along, Jimmy, but I'd like to check in late, KO4W10, if I may. Glenn.
KO4WTN, Glenn, here in Freeport. I've got you at, just a minute. I gotta find my pen. There it is. Glenn, I've got, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Welcome to the Friday Night Fun Net. This net meets each and every Friday evening at 8 p.m. here on this repeater. Now, the question tonight, what do you think of Radio Shack making a comeback? Can you, and I don't know, can you stay for a few minutes, or do you have to get going?
I can stay now. I just got in, so I'm glad you guys are still on. So, on the Radio Shack question, well, they kind of got me started back in the day. It'd be nice to be able to go somewhere and buy components or just a few resistors or something like that. But, you know, it would, how is that different than DigiKey or some of these other places we can go to? Back to net.
Well, Glenn, first of all, let me say, this net always runs past 10 o'clock. Sometimes we'll go for about the last week we ran for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know how long we'll run tonight, but we always run past 10 o'clock. So that's for sure. I am hoping that the Radio Shack will go back to its intent will be Radio Shack, not Computer Shack or not Telephone Shack. Go back to the business that they originally got in this business for amateur radio. Of course, well, TV, I think they gotta sell them, but they should go back to what they used to do. So we'll just, I would love to see a store open here in Freeport, and I'm sure the good people over in Rockford would like to see a couple stores open there too. But I hear you, Glenn.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you know, with the internet, it's like, how are things going to change? How are things going to be different? But at any rate, like right now, I'm hobbying on something that I need a couple of resistors and a couple of capacitors for. So to order those one by one seems silly. So I'd love to see a store like that again. Anyway, back to net.
Okay, sounds good, Glenn. Let me know if during the coming days. Let me know if you're able to go to Radio Expo. I know you got the tickets because you told me that the other day during the like last night or during the Chad's Simplex net. So, but let me know if you're able to take me or not.
Yeah. So far, it's a certain thing, Jimmy. I think we don't know each other, but yeah, you can trust me to go. It's confirmed. Anyway, and I'll be glad to go with you. I would love to hear some of your stories. Back to net.
It'll be a pleasure meeting you face to face here, Glenn. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. Enjoy your weekend, and stick around. You like? I'm going to ask the question of everybody. We got other stuff going on. We'll do the trivia segment, and we'll do other things here. So okay, thanks for checking in, Glenn. Okay. Any more stations wishing to before we continue to swap net? Any more stations want to check the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Boy, that was great, Glenn checking. He just got on there. He moved up here from Florida, so that's for sure. I'm sure the weather down there is a lot better than it is here. All right, back to the swap net. Does anybody have any swap net traffic you'd like to pass along at this time? All right. Now back down the round table. Let's see. All right, Keith, we're talking about Radio Shack. Now, I heard this story on the amateur radio news line. It was on this past Wednesday during the Wednesday evening swap net. We have at 8 p.m. here in Freeport at 8 p.m. on the 147.390 repeater, PL 114.8 plus offset, mill K9RFD. The trustees of this repeater brings us the AM radio news line. But they were talking, this group down in El Salvador, in Central America, is buying out Radio Shacks. Their plans are to bring it back to reopen a lot of stores in the U.S. So I want to get everybody's input on that. Mike, KD9MED, what is your opinion on Radio Shack coming back?
KD9MED here. Well, honestly, Jimmy, if it comes back, it'd be pretty neat. Used to be my favorite store to go to all the time, for sure. Got a lot of like the 150-in-1 electronics kit, things like that, and that's where I basically started with electronics. Brief reset. But yeah, I think you're right. You know, it seems like they've become more like consumer goods and stuff instead of more educational. I mean, it used to be back in the day you could actually get like the realistic kits and things like that and actually learn something. And it seems like Radio Shack in later days, it just, you went there just to buy a phone or something. But anyways, I hope they bring it back. If they do, I hope it's kind of the old school way. KD9MED, back to net.
I agree with you 100%, Larry. They bring it back around the old school way, yes. Now, there is a Radio Shack store in Monroe. So you want to do business there, it's not far to drive up to Monroe, Wisconsin, go to that Radio Shack store there. That's independently operated there, by the way. So, okay, sounds good. Thanks for checking in there, Mike, and let me know if you have any internet check-ins. Okay. Dale, KD9YBG, what do you think of Radio Shack coming back?
Well, the Radio Shack of about, say, 40 years ago had a lot of stuff in it. But then as time goes by, like the last time I was in a Radio Shack here, and I think it was on 11th Street, there wasn't much there for components. They were more worried about cell phones. And when I walked in there, I wasn't there very long because there was really nothing I was interested in. So if they want to come back, as far as I'm concerned, they need to come back, you know, with that old mindset of what they used to have and not the new mindset of what they had just previously. KD9YBG, back to net.
That's great. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that, along with Mike, K9MED. Okay, Dale. Hey, thanks for checking in. Good signal comes in tonight. And thanks for checking into the Simplex net last night. I'll definitely mention that when I mention the other nets in the area. Thanks for checking in. KD9MED. Kerry, what do you think of Radio Shack coming back?
This is KD9MED. I'm pretty satisfied with purchasing on the internet. I get the biggest selection, the best prices. You do get into a situation if you need something right this minute, and there's a solution for that too, brief reset. If anybody needs any little piece parts like resistors or caps or transistors or stuff like that, they can email me, KD9MED@gmail.com, because I have a pretty good junk box built up now. I might have what they're looking for. I think a lot of us have stuffed junk boxes, and maybe the solution is for us to do a better job of communicating our needs to each other and helping each other supply emergency parts. KD9MED.
Hey, well that's great that you have all those extra parts. Anybody can email you. That's terrific. Okay, Kerry, hey, thanks for checking in. Bring us your input there. All right, K9ZIP, Joe in Janesville. What's going on with you? What do you think about Radio Shack coming back?
This is K9ZIP. I'm pretty excited, really. The Radio Shack's coming back. I don't know. Over the past several years, I can think of many a times where needed to buy a small part or a small electronic item, and you know, you had to look around for it, hunt for it, and you knew in the back of your head that's always where you would go to Radio Shack. Something you would find at Radio Shack. So we'll see. I checked a few articles online here while I was listening, and yeah, definitely they are coming back. that it looks like they're intent on expanding their product selection for their existing franchisees and expanding their brick and mortar presence in addition to doing an Amazon storefront. So, if they're buying the brand, I think they must have a business plan, although I'm curious to see what it is, because it was pretty much Amazon that put them out of business, and Amazon has only gotten better in the last 6 years since that happened. So we'll see. I'm happy to see them come back in whatever form they choose, and I have to wish them luck. This is K9ZIP, back to net.
I want to see them bring a brick and mortar store, especially in Freeport, especially right next door here at the Lincoln Mall. That's where they used to be for many years, because I used to know a lot of good people. I knew of a friend of mine, a young kid, Mike Gunderson was his name. He was a manager. He was a rookie manager. That's where I bought my realistic DX440 radio, which I still have and I still use. Back in 1991, that was a good radio there too. That I used to buy a lot of stuff, cassette tapes and what have you there, and a lot of radio stuff. That's good. Yeah. Then they moved. Unfortunately, they moved out to the south end of Freeport. Then they went belly up. So I'm glad they're coming back. Thanks for checking in there, Joe, and thank you for checking into the Chad and Simplex net last night. Okay. N9DLB, Dave, is a short time. So, Chris, N9OEG in South Boyd on that brand new radio. Chris, what do you think about Radio Shack coming back? Okay. I guess he's gone. KC9DDF, John Nelson, got him checked in. He's gone. K04WTN, Glenn, I'm sure he made his comments. That concludes my list. Are there any more stations we'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? You're coming over to your Friday Night fish fry, steak fry, grocery shopper, or the show. You just came home, turned your radio on, you've been copying the net for the last 43 minutes. This is your chance to check the Friday Night Fun Net from where in the region. Without traffic, please call K9GCR.
Net control, KC9GOL, Jimmy in Rockford, no traffic.
KC9GOL, Jimmy in Rockford, got you checked in, Jimmy. I'm asking a question tonight. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but this group down in El Salvador, Central America, bought out Radio Shack. They're bringing it back. I'm sure you've been listening to the last few minutes. What do you think of the Radio Shack coming back?
Well, Jimmy, I mean, Radio Shack's in Mexico. It's not the Radio Shack that we had in the United States. There is, I don't know if it's Global Electronics or something up in Monroe, out by the Walmart. It's supposed to have Radio Shack parts there. And if you go and look at the Radio Shack parts list on the internet, you find that those 19-cent 5 resistors, either half watt or quarter watt resistors, that were 19 cents, were $2.94. And basically, all the prices for the things that I was looking for that they had, and they didn't have a real large selection here, were really, really high priced. Back to net.
Okay, Jimmy, thanks for checking in. That's what this group in El Salvador is talking about. They eventually want to bring back the brick and mortar stores. I said that'd be nice if they open one right back here in Freeport again, and one which is within easy walking distance for me, like next door at the Lincoln Mall. There's a lot of empty spaces left at that mall, but that Radio Shack down here at the Lincoln Mall used to do a lot of it. I used to go there all the time for stuff there. So, okay, Jimmy. Hey, thanks for checking in. Do we have any more stations who want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll get some more check-ins later on before the night's over. So, okay, let me repeat this announcement again. Tomorrow, September 16th, the Kishwaukee Valley Radio Club will be holding a VE testing session. Tomorrow, September 16th, 2023, at the Community of Christ Church in DeKalb. I don't know what time that will be getting underway. I did not get that information. Let's see. Let's see. I found this out from Richard at N9ZO. And okay, if you want information, contact Steve at Whiskey 9 X-Ray Foxtrot at W9XF at Comcast.net for more information. I repeat, you want more information about that VE testing session tomorrow in DeKalb at Christ Community Church, contact Steve, Whiskey 9 X-Ray Foxtrot at W9XF at Comcast.net. They'll give you a lot of lowdown about that VE testing session. Okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to do some Friday Night Fun Net trivia. It's mostly going to be the technicians, because hopefully they'll be getting a good turnout down there. Let me get it organized here. Okay, if I can find the first question here. I'm trying to do my best not to repeat the same questions I read last week. All right, I'm gonna skip this one. We ain't gonna worry about that one. All right. Okay, here we go. First question. Why should you not set your transmit frequency to be exactly at the edge of an amateur band or subband? A, to allow for calibration error in the transmitter frequency display. B, so that modulation sidebands do not extend beyond the band edge. C, to allow for transmitter frequency drift. D, all these choices are correct. Why should you not set your transmit frequency to be exactly at the edge of an amateur band or subband? A, to allow for calibration error in the transmitter frequency display. B, so that modulation sidebands do not extend beyond the... Oh, I goofed up. Sorry about that, I goofed. This is K9GCR. I'm going to read this question again. Why should you not set your transmit frequency to be exactly at the edge of an amateur band or subband? A, to allow for calibration error in the transmitter frequency display. B, so that modulation sidebands do not extend beyond the band edge. C, to allow for a transmitter frequency drift. D, all of these choices are correct. Anybody correct to answer this question?
GOL, and I would say Delta.
You are correct, GOL, you are correct. Why should you not set your transmit frequency to be exactly at the edge of an amateur band or subband? A, to allow for calibration error in the transmitter frequency display. B, so that modulation sidebands do not extend beyond the band edge. C, to allow for transmitter frequency drift. Well, the correct answer is D, delta. All of these choices are correct. 97.101A, 97.301A to E. Amateurs are allowed to use any frequency in a band, but have to be careful when operating near the edge of the band. All the signal must be inside the band. Since radio displays the carrier frequency, remember to leave room for the signal's sideband. Ham radio license manual page 5-7. I'm sure we have a lot of people listening to this net, either on a scanner or on their radios, who's going to be going to DeKalb tomorrow to take that for that VE testing session. So, okay. All right. Next question. What types of amateur stations can automatically retransmit the signals of another? Let's do that again. What types of amateur stations can automatically retransmit the signals of other amateur stations? A. Auxiliary, beacon, or earth stations. B. Earth, repeater, or space stations. C. Beacon, repeater, or space station. D. Repeater, auxiliary, or space station. What types of amateur stations can automatically retransmit the signals of other amateur stations? A. Auxiliary, beacon, or earth stations. B. Earth, repeater, or space stations. C. Beacon, repeater, or space stations. D. Repeater, auxiliary, or space station. Anybody correct answer to this question?
GOL, Bravo.
Sorry, GOL, that's not the correct, but thanks for trying anyway. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Okay. What types of amateur stations can automatically retransmit the signals of other amateur stations? Correct answer is D delta, repeater, auxiliary, or space station. 97.113D. Retransmitting the signals of another station is generally prohibited, except when you are relaying messages or digital data from another station. Some types of stations, repeaters, auxiliary station, and space station in parentheses, are allowed to automatically retransmit signals on different frequencies or channels. And radio license manual page 8-11. Let's move on to another. All right. What term describes the use of a sub-audible tone transmitted along with normal voice audio to open the squelch of a receiver? A. Carrier squelch. B. Tone burst. C. DTMF. D. CTCSS. What term describes use of a sub-audible what term describes the use of a sub-audible tone transmitted along with normal voice audio to open the squelch of a receiver? A. Carrier squelch. B. Tone burst. C. DTMF. D. CTCSS. Anybody have a correct answer to this question?
GOL, how about Delta?
Yeah, okay, you are correct, GOL, you are correct. What term describes the use of a sub-audible tone transmitted along with normal voice audio to open the squelch of a receiver? Correct answer is D delta, CTCSS. Repeater access tones are known by various names. Continuous tone coded squelch system, GTCSS, PL for a private line, the Motorola trade name, or sub-audible, and radio license manual page 6-12. Okay, before we continue with the trivia segment, do we have any more stations who would like to check in the Friday Night Fun at this time? Please call now. This is KD9GCR with the Friday Night Fun Net on the K9RFD Repeater in Rockford, transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net Central Air and Freeport. Okay, all right. What effect does multi-path propagation have on data transmission? A. Transmission rates must be increased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. B. Transmission rates must be decreased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. C. No significant changes will occur if the signals are transmitted using FM. D. Error rates are likely to increase. What effect does multi-path propagation have on data transmission? A. Transmission rates must be increased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. B. Transmission rates must be decreased by a factor equal to the number of separate paths observed. C. No significant changes will occur if the signals are transmitted using FM. D. Error rates are likely to increase. Anybody correct to answer this question?
KD9MED says D Delta.
You are correct, Gary. You are correct. What effect does multi-path propagation have on data transmission? The correct answer is D Delta. Error rates are likely to increase. Distortion caused by multi-path can cause VHF and UHF digital data signals to be received with a higher error rate, even though the signal may be strong. And radio license manual page 4-1. Okay, find another one here. Which of the following controls could be used if the voice pitch of a single sideband signal returning to your CQ call seems too high or too low? A. The AGC or limiter. B. The bandwidth selection. C. The tone squelch. D. The RIT or clarifier. Which of the following controls could be used if the voice pitch of a single sideband signal returning to your CQ call seems too high or low? A. The AGC or limiter. B. The bandwidth selection. C. The tone squelch. D. The RIT or clarifier. Anybody have correct to answer this question?
KD9EPZ.
K9EPZ. Okay, Al. What do you say?
D is in Delta.
You are correct, Al. You are correct. Which of the following controls could be used if the voice pitch of a single sideband signal returned to your CQ call seems too high or too low? Correct answer is D Delta, the RIT or clarifier. Receiver incremental tuning, or RIT, is a fine-tuning control used for SSB or CW operations. RIT allows the operator to adjust the receiver frequency without changing the transmitter frequency. This allows you to tune in a station that is slightly off frequency or to adjust the pitch of an operator's voice that seems too high or low. Ham radio license manual page 5-9. We'll continue with the trivia within a few minutes here. Al, K9EPZ, what's going on with you?
Oh, not much. I'm sitting around and I'm seeing where I can talk better and where I can't talk as well with the antenna at its new height. The other problem is I may have a problem with my HF antenna. My dipole isn't pulled back up, but they've got the cross arm going in the wrong direction. It's hanging right over the top of my television antenna. So when I pull the end fed up, it gets stuck in the TV antenna. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. I guess I'm not going to mess with HF for a bit. But I have found, I checked into Bolingbrook Net tonight, and they were coming in better than they usually do. And of course, I got into Freeport last night, as you know, and I had no problem with Monroe. I talked to Scott, and I was hearing Monroe Repeater pretty well. On the other hand, the repeater in Racine that I normally check into their net at 5 o'clock on nightly, I can hardly hear anymore. So whatever happened when I went up higher, it lost me whatever path I had. For some reason, I must have been on a reflected path, and I lost my reflected path.
Oh boy, ain't that the way it goes? I don't know what to tell you. That's really unfortunate. I guess you're just going to have to wait till we get those great band conditions like we did 2 weeks ago before you can check in. Ain't that the way it goes? Yes. And we both checked in the night watch last night. Conditions were good. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, you were a little noisy, but you were quite readable. No problem at all with that. And me, I was full quieting, but I'm closer. I have a little more power than you do. I have more antenna gain than you do. I can't say I'm higher. I'm not. I think you're still higher than me.
Oh yeah, that's the way it goes. Well, you know, the configuration of this building still partially blocks my signal path, like to the east, southeast there too. If you look at it, I'm trying to describe it. You see an aerial view of this building. The top of the roof looks like an insect or something, how different wings are. You know how the different sides of the building go in every which way to which direction? That's the situation here too.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen the building, so I wasn't sure how it was. But I guess you have different, each floor, you have multiple wings, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. We do. So, okay. Now, Al, I was asking a question tonight. You probably know about the news about this company down in Central America, El Salvador, buying Radio Shack. They're talking about bringing it back. They're going to bring back like the brick and mortar stores and what have you. Well, I know. For years you've dealt with. You've been a ham for only a few years now, but you. I'm sure there are times you dealt with one of the Radio Shacks even before you became a ham. What do you think of Radio Shack coming back?
If it comes back like it used to be in the day, I think that would be great. Not that there are none. There's still a Radio Shack in Monroe, and I bought my scanner from them, a matter of fact. And I've known people that have gone up there, and they still stock all kinds of component parts and stuff like the Radio Shacks used to do. And, you know, it used to be, if you needed a resistor, Radio Shack had it. If you needed a transistor, Radio Shack had it. You know, and if they could do that again, I think it would be great. You know, they had gotten themselves too far away from the Radio Shack, and got themselves too far into thinking they were a cellular phone dealer, you know.
That's what a couple bands were saying too. They said they should just go back to how they started out, how they used to be there. But yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. They should just go like radio and TV, yes, especially ham radio. You know, I still have an old Radio Shack book. Now you're talking. I picked that up at the Swamp Meeting Social this past spring there at Camp Winnebago. Because once in a while I was reading questions from the old novice class questions there. But that was definitely that was when Morse code was still required and what have you there. But I agree with you. Go back to sell the radios, and maybe go back in the ham radio business, sell the TV and computer or telephone. Hey, folks, you want a telephone? Go get a landline phone. Okay, Al, what do you think?
I don't know. Landline phones aren't like landline phones used to be. I don't know if you realize it or not. Most likely, your landline phone over there is actually being ran through your through a cable modem. It's still, you know, it's still not. It's not on the copper wire like it used to be. Now, since everybody's got internet by one way or the other, most of the home phones, landline phones, ran on internet. I know I had a landline phone for many years, even after I came here, but it actually was running through the internet. But I got tired of all the robocalls, so I said, why should I be paying for this? So I canceled it, and I just have the one cell phone.
Okay, sounds good, Al. Yeah, I hear you there. No, I did not know that about the landline phones. Okay, well, my phone company, I do business with Frontier. I don't know who you do business with, but I do it with Frontier.
I don't do business with Frontier. I don't have. I'm with Comcast, but I don't have a home phone anyway, so it doesn't matter. But my cell phone service is with Comcast anyway.
Okay. Oh yeah, I knew that. You said that. That's for sure. Okay, Al. Hey. Thanks for checking in. I wanted to get your comments about Radio Shack. I hope they do come back. Like I said, put in a brick and mortar store back to right at the Lincoln Mall where it used to be. That's right next door from here. So okay, sounds good. Thanks for checking in, Al. Any more stations wanting to check in the Friday Night Fun then? Please call now.
KD9SAZ, Daniel Rockford checking in. Good evening, Jimmy, and good evening to everyone on the net.
KD9SAZ, good evening, Dan. I'm asking the question. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but this outfit down in Central America, down in El Salvador, they're buying Radio Shack. They're bringing it back. At one point, they're talking about bringing back the old brick and mortar store. So, what do you think about Radio Shack coming back?
It'd be the greatest thing. I'd be thrilled. I can't say enough. And I was listening, and I agree with Al. The old days of Radio Shack, when I'd walk in there, and they'd have all the cabinets back there, and then underneath of them as well, and nothing but drawers. Those big slide-out drawers, and all the capacitors, resistors, transistors, anything and everything, they had it. It was just great. And you know what? We don't have those electronic stores anymore, and so many of them are going away. I don't think Radio Shack realizes what they could gain by coming back really strong in that whole fashion, because everybody needs parts anyway. Yeah, love it. I better shut up before I time out. KD9SAZ, back to net control.
Don't feel bad, Daniel. I timed it out too. So I heard that boop, boop, boop. I go, I even said I goofed. Hey, Dan, thanks for checking into the Friday Night Fun Net. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend. If you get a chance, we got the Saturday evening ride tune tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. on this repeater. I don't know who'll be net control then, but just to let you know. Thanks for checking in, Southern. Have a good evening.
Thank you much, Jimmy, and hope everyone's having a good evening. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. KD9SAZ, Claire. And thanks for the net every Friday night, Jimmy.
You're welcome. welcome, Daniel. Thanks for checking in. Okay, and before we resume the Friday Night Fun Net Trivia, any more stations want to check in? Please call now.
KC9GCR, K9FLO.
K9FLO. Good evening, Dean. What's going on with you?
Hi, Jimmy. Thought I'd get checked in here early before I get tardy or something like that. So how's the net going tonight?
The net is going great. You're checking number 21, and it's a good turnout. By the way, Kurt KD9MED has not yet checked in, but we're talking about Radio Shack. I don't know if you heard the news or not. I found this out this past Wednesday night on the Wednesday evening slot net we have on our 3-9 repeater. Bell K9RFD, our trustee, brings back the rebroadcast Abs Radio Newsline. That was from Friday of last week. I heard this that a group down in El Salvador, Central America, is buying a Radio Shack, and from what I hear, they're going to bring it back, including eventually bring back the old brick and mortar stores and what have you. What do you think about Radio Shack coming back?
KC9GCR, K9FLO. I think it's a good thing. Now it's a little challenging. We only have several options to buy parts, and that being Amazon, which is very easy to buy parts, and we have our suppliers still, what few are left around the country, and but of course that's all mail order. It would be nice to have local pickup parts again, very nice. Of course, they weren't the finest quality products, but still they filled that niche that when you needed something, you know, the replacement bulb, little what they used to call them, the 12-volt panel lamps and the 6-volt panel lamps and the resistors and stuff like that. Even though you always had to buy a pack of 5 or something like that, but I'll tell you what, it was convenient. And it was something that met a need at the moment, but hope it works out, really do. Whether there's enough demand anymore, of course, we're getting more mature in age, and the people behind us really don't even know what that is. So we'll see. I mean, we used to go there to buy a stereo. It may not have been the finest, but go there and buy a stereo or a car stereo or speakers or, you know, just the good old nice stuff. And it was always something, you know, it worked. It did what it was supposed to do. It always worked. So, yeah, I enjoyed them. But I was just thinking in Rockford, we had, let me reset. In Rockford, we had, back in the days before there were no Radio Shacks, we had 4 electronic supply houses. We had J-Tronics over in Rockton and J&M out there on, I think it was 18th. And we had the Midwest there on, 9th? There right near downtown. And then going back a little further, we had the old H&H Electronics, which they had all ham radio equipment. So, yeah, those days, when they started to fade, that's when Radio Shack came in and kind of displaced them. But that was also in the days when we had TV repairmen, and they did all baseline repair of the TVs and radios and things like that. So, yeah, everything's kind of changing, but I'll tell you what, I'd like to see the good old Radio Shack come back. I still have an occasional need for that part that, darn, I need it now, not tomorrow. KC9GCR, K9FLO.
Yeah, that's for sure. I agree with you. Well, we used to have Radio Shacks next door here to me at the Freeport Lincoln Mall. Then they moved to South Edge of Freeport. Then unfortunately they went belly up. But I thought there's one in Monroe. There's a Radio Shack in Monroe that I've never been there before. But that sure would be nice if they bring back the old brick and mortar stores. And going back to what the name stands for, Radio Shack. Not computer shack, cell phone shack, or whatever, but Radio Shack. Go back into the ham radio business. I still have a book from them. Now you're talking. I picked up at the swap meet social in this past May. But yeah, that's for sure.
Well, you know, Jimmy, they kind of gave a meaning to the blister pack. I mean, everything was there, but hanging on the wall, it was in a blister pack. And then later advancement was they came out with the shelving units, which worked out very well too. I know it's too bad. I can't remember at the time what brought them down. Just a change in needs, probably. People got away from doing it yourself and repairing yourself and all that. Appliance operators were created, and that eliminated the need for the component level building. Too bad. It really hurt a lot of development skills out there for the people, but now the things have changed, and if it's coming back, that'd be a good thing. I'll look forward to it, Jimmy.
Yeah, so will I. Okay, the Dean. Hey, thanks for checking in. I don't know if anybody else is I don't know if Kurt's going to check it or not, but thanks for your check-in and for your comments. Sorry to hear about the fox hunt being canceled, but they're going to try to have it next month there, from what I understand.
Yes, we are. We'll have it next month. There was just issues that had come up, so the best thing to do is just reschedule, and we'll do it in the next one. And before the weather changes, we got to do it before winter gets here. So, and we have. I think in the minutes I've got a notation here that we're going to be having it. This might be the last one, but Mother Nature's going to kind of dictate that. But everybody gets a kick out of it. It's a lot of fun, new experience of an old kind of hobby. KC9GCR, K9FLO.
Okay, Dean, sounds good. Hey, thanks for checking in. You have a good evening. We'll talk to you next Friday night. By the way, it's next Friday night. It's going to be a special Radio Expo edition of the Friday Night Fun. And I'm going to ask everybody, when you go to Amfest, you like to buy stuff, see people, or both. That's what we'll talk about next week. So, 7-3, Dean, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you for checking the Friday Night Fun then.
All right, Jamie, take care of 7-3s. We'll catch you then. And you're right, that day's coming. So I'm getting all my items accumulated to take to the fest, and hopefully to be able to downsize a little bit. And that'll be good. Hopefully the weather be good. I think it will be. Take care. Talk at you. KC9GCR, K9FLO, be clear.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that. Okay, Dean, thanks for checking in. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun then? Please go now.
KC9CFL, this is...
KC9CFL, good evening, Mike. Hey, I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Radio Shack is going to make a big comeback. I'm not kidding. A group down in Central America, El Salvador, is buying them out. They're going to bring them back big time. They're going to reopen bring back the brick and mortar stores and what have you. What is your comment about Radio Shack coming back?
I liked Radio Shack. I always thought it was a decent place to buy stuff. You can pretty much order anything from them. You know, they always had low-level board components, capacitors and things of that such. And yeah, they had little projects that were pretty cool to learn how to solder. And my first ham radio power supply was from Radio Shack. It was a 20-amp desktop power supply. So yeah, I'm all for that. That'd be great.
Okay, and speaking of which, this is number 21 to the 30 original radio nut joke. You know you're a radio nut when your spouse goes to the supermarket while you look around at Radio Shack.
Nice. Yeah, my first cell phone was from Radio Shack. It was a Primeco phone, the little pink alien.
Okay, sounds good. You got a good, beautiful signal coming in. You're full quieting, sound like you're standing right next to me. Okay, hey, Mike, thanks for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Hopefully I will be able to come out to the Hamfest next Sunday. I'm trying to work that out with the family. KC9GCR, this is KC9CFL. Back to you, Net Control. Later.
Bring your family along. I just talked to Glenn, KO4WTN. He's here in Freeport. He said he's going to pick me up next Sunday. He's already got tickets. I'm definitely going to be there. Okay, Mike. Thanks for checking in. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
AC9GO. Good evening there, Jimmy.
AC9GO. Good evening. Good evening, Larry and Rockton. What's going on with you? I'm sure you were listening to the net for the past few minutes. We're talking about Radio Shack coming back. What do you think about that?
Hey, I always enjoyed Radio Shack. It was one of those things. You were talking about while the wife was going to the grocery store, I'd go to the Radio Shack. Well, it wasn't quite that way. Usually she was shopping at one of the other stores in the mall, and I'd be at the Radio Shack, and she'd meet me there later. And that happened every time we went to a mall. AC9GO.
That's great. Hey, if she, maybe I better not. I was going to ask her if she wants to check in, but I thought, she'll do that on her own there.
Yeah, I don't know where she is. She's wandering around the house someplace, and I don't know. Maybe I can coax her down here. I'm not sure. Her girlfriends are having a bonfire next door, and she may have even left and gone over there. But if she's around, I'll tell her that you mentioned her, and see if we can get her on the air again. Good idea there, Jimmy. AC9GO.
Okay. Well, don't worry about that. She can check in whenever she wants. So that's fine. Thanks anyway. Okay. Nothing much happening here. Hey, we'll let you go. We'll say 73. Thank you for checking into the Friday Night Fun Net.
And 73 to you, Jimmy. Good talking to you. AC9GO.
Okay, are there any more stations who would like to check into the Friday Night Fun Net this time? Please go now.
K9FLO, comment.
Yeah, Dean, go ahead.
I heard Larry in there. I wanted to say good evening to Larry, and nice meeting him last week at the club meeting. K9FLO.
Oh.
Hey, same here. But yeah, we enjoyed the club meeting. Good to meet everybody there. AC9GO.
I'm sorry, I doubled over you, Larry. Come back. Sorry.
I was just saying it was good to meet everybody there, and yeah,
really, we appreciated the meeting up there in Beloit. Enjoyed the topic and everything, so good meeting. AC9GO 73.
73 is there, yeah. Thanks for showing up. I was one taking all the notes, so talk to you later, and you're welcome to come anytime. K9FLO.
This is K9GCR with the Friday Night Fun Net on K9RFD Repeater in Rockford, transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net Center in Freeport. Okay, before we go back to the trivia segment, are there any more stations you wanted to check in? Please call now.
KD9SAZ, Jimmy, just for a quick question.
Sure, Daniel, go ahead.
Do you know, would you happen to know who has tickets locally for the Hamfest next weekend? Any of the extras there?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't you contact Richard, N9ZO, in Belvedere? I don't know if he has them or not, but if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll probably tell you who does have the tickets. His phone number is area code 815-547-8686. Area code 815-547-8686. Or if anybody else is listening, maybe you can help Daniel out there, tell him where you go to get those tickets.
Comment, Jimmy.
Go ahead, Dean.
They sell the tickets at the gate. They're $10, I think, at the gate, so you shouldn't have any problem at all. I can pick them up there at K9FLO.
That's right, I forgot about that, yeah. Daniel, did you copy that?
Yes, I did, and thank you very much. And yeah, I think I got him from him last year, Jimmy. I think I drove out there, if I'm not mistaken. So thanks for that info. Appreciate it. KD9SAZ, back to net control.
You're welcome there, Dan. Break in anytime you have questions. We're not a formal net there, so okay, sounds good. Thanks for checking in. Okay, any more stations wishing to check in, please call now. Okay, we're going to continue with the Friday Night Fun Net trivia segment now. Okay. What property of a radio wave defines its polarization? A, the orientation of the electric field. B, the orientation of the magnetic field. C, the ratio of the energy in the magnetic field to the energy in the electric field. D, the ratio of the velocity to the wavelength. What property of a radio wave defines its polarization? A, the orientation of the electric field. B, the orientation of the magnetic field. C, the ratio of the energy in the magnetic field to the energy in the electric field. D, the ratio of the velocity to the wavelength. Anybody have correct answer to this question?
K9EPZ.
Go ahead, Al.
A is an alpha.
You are correct, Al. You are correct. What property of a radio wave defines its polarization? The correct answer is A alpha, the orientation of the electric field. Polarization refers to the orientation of the radio wave's electric field. Hand-read Alliance Manual, page 4-5. By the way, let me repeat, the Kishwaukee Valley Radio Club is holding a VE testing session tomorrow, the 16th. I'm not sure what the time is, but it's at the Community of Christ Church in DeKalb. I'm sure many of you are probably either listening on a scanner or to this net on a scanner or whatever, or radio or what have you. Hopefully you guys will get a good turnout down there tomorrow. Great, we pick up several new hams. All right. Oh, good God, I read that. I already read that already. I'm not reading that again. All right. Let me find the, hold on one moment, please. Trying to find a certain question here. Okay. All right. What are the toughest questions in the text, general, and extra Q&A? Your tower questions, of course. Those of you new ham radio operators, someday you're going to be involved in a tower climbing expedition. You're going to be climbing the tower itself. You're going to be part of the ground support crew. Those of you who are taking your test tomorrow in DeKalb, this next question might put you over the top as far as you getting your tickets goes. So, okay, here we go. Which is a proper grounding method for a tower? A single 4-foot ground rod driven into the ground no more than 12 inches from the base. B, a ferret core RF choke connected between the tower and ground. C, a connection between the tower base and a cold water pipe. D, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg, bonded to the tower and each other. Which is a proper grounding method for a tower? A single 4-foot ground rod driven into the ground no more than 12 inches from the base. B, a ferret core RF choke connected between the tower and ground. C, a connection between the tower base and a cold water pipe. D, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg, bonded to the tower and each other. Anybody have a correct answer to this question? You tower climbers should know this answer by heart.
D, David. 8 foot each leg tied together. I was still sitting here, got to run, but might as well figured I'd answer that, Jimmy. KD9SAC.
Okay, Daniel, you are correct. You are correct. Which is the proper grounding method for a tower? Correct answer is D delta, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg, bonded to the tower and each other. Grounding rules for antennas and supports must be followed according to your local electrical code. Towers should be grounded with separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg, bonded to the tower and each other. Ham Radio License Manual, page 9-17. Okay, folks, that's the last question of the evening. Those of you who are taking your test tomorrow, good luck. And you guys are on your own from now on. Now, hopefully you guys, you people wrote the questions down and memorized them in your head. Don't take the answers at the widget testing session or you'll end up in the doghouse.
Amen.
Go ahead.
K9RFD. What happens if your tower only has one leg?
Oh boy, you in a heap of trouble, boy.
Oh, my tower only has one leg, and it has an 8-foot ground rod at the bottom of it.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's a telescoping push-up pole. It only it's just one piece. It's one leg.
That's terrific, Al. I was not aware of that. Okay, well, I'm glad it's working out for you. Hopefully, maybe now we gotta get some people down there and get your HF antenna back up and running again.
I don't know what we're going to do about that. I know one of the KN4 VMQ says he's ready to...
This is K9GCR, the Friday Night Fun Test of the K9RFD Repeaters in Rockford. Al, when you were transmitting the repeater ID in that timeout, what were you saying about the, what was some other ham, what were they telling you? Repeat that.
Yeah, they want to take the whole thing down and straighten out the cross arm and put it back up again.
Oh, okay. Sounds good, Al. Hey, okay, thanks. Thanks for your comment there. Okay. Any more stations who want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now. Okay, at this time, I'm going to give you a rundown of all the other nets in the area. In about 23 minutes at 10 o'clock, if you're able to pick up the 443.750 repeater in Chicago, PL 114.8 plus offset, Night Watch will be getting underway. That net runs 7 nights a week. They have 7 different net control operators. Al and I were able to check into that net last night, so the conditions were good. I don't know how they will be tonight, but we'll just see what happens. If you can't get into the repeater, they do have EchoLink capability. I think I checked in earlier that we do for that net. Okay. Don't forget, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. on this repeater, we got this Saturday evening rag tune net. I don't know who will be net control tomorrow night, but we pick a topic. And if you want, let's see, net control pick the topic. You want to talk about that, fine. If you don't, you want to bring up something else, that's fine too. We go around about 3 or 4 different times. You bring up different subjects and what you. That's what it's all about. Rag to it. So do tune in tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. on this repeater for the Saturday evening rag tune net. And the Saturday night fun net meets every evening, also at 8 p.m. They changed it from 9 o'clock, so I can't listen to that net anymore. It's on 146.910 repeater in Milwaukee with a PL 127.3 minus offset. You gotta check it a certain way, and of course, some of the topics they talk about, I wouldn't even dream of bringing them up on this net. Sunday evening, let's see, just a reminder, at 4:30 p.m. on 3.905 on the 75, 80 meters, Illinois statewide areas net, it will be held. They call them net controls of each of the different IEMA regions in the state. Let's see. Lloyd, KB9APW down in Sterling. He'll be probably one of the last net controls. So he usually checks in before the end of the net. Well, that's on the third Sunday of the month. On the first Sunday, he's one of the first. So once again, Illinois statewide Aries net on 3905 on the 75, 80 meters this coming Sunday at 4:30 p.m. The Greene County Aries Races net meets on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. on the 145.110 repeater in Monroe, PL 123.0 minus offset. Scott, K9YI is the net control. He has yet to check into this net tonight. We'll see what happens. But it's a combination Aries, Races, and Ragtune net. Monday evenings at 8 p.m. on the 147.375 repeater in Belvedere with a PL of 100.0 plus offset. The Big Thunder Amps Radio Club holds its Sunday evening net. Also at 8 p.m., the White Tide County Areas Group holds its Sunday evening net on the 146.850 repeater in Sterling, PL 114.8 minus offset. You shouldn't have any problem getting into that repeater. The antenna is about 300 feet in the air on the Illinois State Police Group 1 radio tower. At 7 p.m. on this coming Monday evening, on this repeater, we'll have the Monday Night Rah-Rah Info Net. I will be net control this coming Monday night. Larry, K9KCT, and I share the duties as net control operator. And I think we had 11 check-ins this past Monday. Oh, and okay. Let me think here. Oh, yeah. The Lee County Aries Net meets on Monday evenings at 8 p.m. on the 146.970 repeater in Dixon with a PL of 82.5 minus offset. The weather conditions were great Monday night. I was able to check into that net. Usually I'm not able to get into that repeater, but I did this past Monday night. Then at 8:30 p.m., the Kishwaukee Amps Radio Club holds its Monday evening net on the 146.730 repeater in the count with a PL 100.0 minus offset. Listen to that net, you'll find out how the results of the VE testing session will take place tomorrow. Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock. On this repeater, we have the first of the two held tech and social nets. Larry, H9GO is net control for the Tuesday night net, and I do the Thursday night net. We ask everybody out there and everybody that is doing health-wise, have any technical questions, any traffic you'd like to bring before the net. Also at 7 p.m. on the 145.450 repeater in Janesville, PL 123.0 minus offset. The Rock County Public Service net is held. Now, Tuesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. on the 147.165 repeater in Oregon with a PL 146.2 plus offset. The Ogle County Amps Radio net is held. The guys down in Ogle County just started this net about a month or about 3 months ago or something like that. They have a good turnout. If they have time, they'll switch over to a 146.595 simplex for a short simplex net. Then they'll go back to the 165 repeater for the 9 o'clock Ogle County Amps Radio net for Aries Skywarn. So you might as well see you got the three different nets in this session down in Ogle County. Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. here in Freeport on the 147.390 repeater, PL 114.8 plus offset. I host the Stevenson County Aries net. I had a total of 7 check-ins this past Monday night. Wednesday night, I should say. Immediately following that at 7:30 p.m. on the 147.120 repeater in Boyd from PL 123.0 plus offset. The Greater Boyd Amps Radio Club holds its Wednesday evening net. Then at 8 o'clock here in Freeport on the 147.390 repeater with a PL 114.8 plus offset, we have our Wednesday evening swap net. Mel K9RFD and I share the duties of net control operator. And Mel brings us Amps Radio news lines, 15-minute independent news broadcast about the entire of the Amps Radio. That's how I found out news about Radio Shack making a comeback. And Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. on this repeater, I host the Thursday evening Health Tech and Social Net. If Ricky, W9AXD is around, I'll turn the net over to him so he can do the Northern Illinois Skywarn training net. After he gets done with that, I'll take over as I can't even talk. The Thursday evening health tech and social net. By the way, Larry, K9KCT has Morse code practice at the conclusion of the Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday evening nets on this repeater. I forgot to mention that. Okay, now, at 8 p.m. on 146.415 simplex, Chad, W9AXD has his simplex net. He had a total of 7 check-ins last night. That's a good net. If you're not doing anything, check out that net. By the way, last night he did the rain report. I'm sure maybe you are familiar with that. He was a history of how he got involved in the amateur radio and what have. There's the second part is coming up this coming Thursday evening. Again, it's on 146.415 simplex at 8 p.m. Chad, W9AXD is net control operator. Let's see, also at 7 o'clock, I think on the 146730, I think the DeKalb County group has their Aries net on that repeater. I keep forgetting to mention that. Okay, those of you on HF, the senile net is held every day, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 1400 and 1500 hours Zulu, or 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. local time, on 14.287 megahertz, 20 meters upper sideband with Chuck. KD9MED is your net control operator. Okay, you're up to date on your local nets. Support your local net control operators, your local nets, your local repeaters. You remember being a ham radio club, by all means support your local club. Okay, at this time, are there any more stations who'd like to check the Friday night fun net? Please call now. Okay, let me tell you about the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. Those of you who have that, go to the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page, punch in your call sign, follow instructions, and you can listen to past editions of this net. As soon as I get done here, I'll tell Larry, K9MED, to go ahead and post the net, and you can listen to it late tonight, or you can listen to past editions of the net. It's the Friday Night Fun Net every night of the week on Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. Let's say it's 3 a.m., you can't sleep. Well, you decide I'm going to turn on the Friday Night Fun Net. Let's turn on my Facebook page and listen to Friday Night Fun Net. If that doesn't put you to sleep, I don't know what will. But it's Friday night every night of the week on the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. Then I want to tell you about the Friday Night Fun Net Central hotline, area code 815-232-FNFN, 232-3636. We did not have any check-ins so far during the net tonight. But if I'm transmitting, you hear that phone ring. That's a real telephone ring, folks, not that phony baloney cell phone ring. You've seen pictures of it on the Facebook page. It's a traditional red desktop touch-tone telephone. And I don't know how many people have signed up for the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page, but you'll see pertinent information about the net. You'll see updated pictures of my ham shack, and you'll even see weather information. So, let's see, who will? Just a minute. Brad, Alpha Hotel 2 India, the former the WW9 WWW and 89G WW2D. He came up with the idea of the Friday Night Fun Net. He and Ricky, WX9RLT, are in charge of the Facebook page. Go to either one of them. You want to sign up for the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page, contact Brad or Ricky, and they'll get you signed up. Okay, at this time, are there any more stations who'd like to check the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Okay. Okay, at this time, I'm going to do the Ampere's code. 1. The Ampere's considered. He never knowingly uses the air in such a way as to lessen the pleasure of others. 2. The Ampere's loyal. He offers his loyalty, encouragement, and support to his fellow radio amateurs, his local club, and to the American Radio Relay League, to which Amper Radio is represented. 3. The Ampere's progressive. He keeps his station abreast of science. It is well-built and efficient. His operating practice is above reproach. 4. The Amper is friendly, so home face and sending when requested. Friendly advice and counsel to the beginner. Kindly assistance, cooperation, and consideration for the interests of others. These are marks of the Amper spirit. 5. And this is very important. The Amper is balanced. Radio is his hobby. He never allows it to interfere with any of his duties he owes in his home, his job, his school, or his community. And finally, number 6. The Amper is patriotic. His knowledge and his station are always ready for the service of his country and his community. That's the Ampere's code. As Tony, K9RFD, REC here in Stevenson County says, some to live by not only on the radio but throughout life itself. Okay, any more stations wishing to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now. Okay, I want to thank Dan, N9DCH, the trustee of this repeater, and the members of the 195 group for allowing us to use this repeater to host the Friday Night Fun Net and the other nuts we have on this repeater. I'm going to run down the list of stations that checked in so far. Good turnout, 23 check-ins. I have no early bird check-ins, no internet check-ins, or no hotline check-ins. These are the stations that checked in. Myself, K9GCR, Net Control. K9KGT, Larry, King of CW. AA9 VU, Mike in Janesville, H9NW. Tom and Roscoe at N9BWM, Bruce. K9VHH, WI9W, TF, Tom in Janesville. N9SBJ, Scott. K9QPL. Paul, K9MED, Mike, who's live streaming this net on the internet and recorded on the Friday Night Fun Net Facebook page. K9YBG, Dale, K9MAP, Kerry, K9ZIP, Joe in Janesville, N9DLB, Big Dave here in Freeport. N9OEG, Chris in South Boyd, K9DDF, John Elgin, difficult time copying him tonight. K04WTN, Glenn here in Freeport. He's going to take me to Belvedere a week from this coming Sunday. K9GOL, Jimmy, K9EPG, Al, thanks for getting his antenna back up. Now we got to get his HF antenna going again. K9SAZ, Daniel and Robert, K9FLO, Dean and Roscoe, K9CFL. Mike in McChesney Park, and H9GO, Larry and Rockton. Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 check-ins. On air. Not bad for Friday night. Any more stations who want to check the Friday Night Fun Net this time, please call now. Okay, and you know what? I forgot to read the ad for Radio Expo. 2023 Radio Expo, Northern Illinois' largest AmFest, Sunday, September 24th, 2022, Boone County Fairgrounds, 8791, Illinois 76, Belvedere, Illinois 61008. Okay, that's put on by the Chicago FM Club. Dealers, radios, computers, electrical, raffles. The talking repeater is 146.760. The PL 107.2 minus all that CFMC. I don't know how anybody's going to get in that repeater, but I wish them good luck. Okay, there'll be an indoor market from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Flea market 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Breakfast, lunch, bring the family, hourly drawings. Now there'll be a BEC testing session on Sundays, the 24th, from 9 a.m. until noon. RVs or motorhomes, camping, water, electric, $45. I'm definitely going to be getting a ride there this next Sunday, so that's great. So okay, that's done. Okay, any more stations would like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net, please go now. Okay, K9YI, Scott, I believe that's you. I'm not able to copy you. Can you go to the input or the straight 195 simplex, if you would, please? K9YI, Scott Monroe, are you there? I thought that sounded like him. Last station trying to check in the Friday Night Fun Net. Come in, please. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't. We'll try. Better luck next time. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now.
KC9GCR, this is KC9YI. Is this any better?
K9YI, there's still noise with your signal, but I'm able to copy every word you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay, real good, Jimmy. I'm on the TS2000 right now. I don't know if I can't remember how to work that other radio. I was on my FT300 there. That doesn't put out quite as much power as this one does. This has about 80 watts, and that one is about 40 watts. So I doubled my power. And anyway, just checking in and saying howdy.
Okay, sounds good, Scott. Hey, I'm asking a question tonight. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Radio Shack is coming back. A group down in El Salvador, Central America, is buying them out. They want to eventually want to bring back the big box, the brick and mortar stores. They want to do other stuff to bring back the warehouses and what have you. But what do you think about Radio Shack coming back?
Oh, I always like those stores. We have one, in Monroe yet, but it's independent. But hopefully it'll take hold. They have a tremendous inventory of parts and stuff, and I don't know if they're going to expand their product line to maybe some things that are a little bit more popular, like cell phones or televisions or, I don't know, laptops or just what. But anyway, I hope they're successful because, it's really nice to have a Radio Shack store right handy. There's always some things that, you're working on something and need a certain kind of plug or, that sort of stuff. It's just nice to be able to just go downtown and get one.
Yes, it is. We used to have one one right here next door at Lincoln Mall. I used to go down there all the time. Then they moved out to south end of town. Then they went belly up. So that's how that goes, sir. So okay, I definitely hear you, Scott. And nobody go back to what they used to be, the Radio Shack. They maybe go back in the ham radio business and sell radios and TVs. That other stuff I couldn't care less about. But I hopefully they'll go back to the radios and TVs and go back to what their original name meant, Radio Shack.
Yeah, well, like I say, I miss the fact that they're, not around per se, even though, like I say, we're fortunate here in Monroe. We've got one that still is holding on to the Radio Shack name, and they do carry a lot of different parts and cables and connections, and so they do try to become they're trying to be a complete radio, TV, electrical supplier, and I think they even have some TV antennas yet, and they got CB antennas and all kinds of stuff. So they do try to be well stocked. To just when you go in there, you got a good chance of finding what you're looking for.
Yeah, I hear you, Scott. Okay, hey, thanks for checking in. You have a good evening. We'll catch you on the Green County Net this coming on Sunday night. Oh, that's right. Brandon will be running the net this coming Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably check in too. So anyway, hope to hear you Sunday night. So take care, and we'll talk to you later there, Jim. And 73 to all the people on the net here tonight. KC9GCR, this is KC9YI. I'll be clear.
73, Scott. Thanks for checking in. This is KC9GCR with the Friday Night Fun Net and the K9RFD Repeater in Rockford, transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net Central here in Freeport. It is just after 10 p.m. curfew time. Parents, do you know where your children are at? Lockdown. Winnebago County Jail is now going into lockdown. Every night at this time, the dispatch calls and radios the corrections officers, they say a lockdown. And Terry K9MED was telling me he listens to the jail frequencies on the scanner. Every night at this time, the lockdown, dispatcher calls the corrections officers. Time to put the jailbirds to bed. Lights out. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Okay, do we have any more stations who'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Okay. Now I'm going to do my honorary check-ins. First of all, our EC here in Stevenson County, N9ARB. Tony, our EC here in Stevenson County, EC honorary check-in. And his better half, Tracy. N9EAB. Tracy, HC honorary check-ins. We mustn't forget the beautiful Kishwaukee River Yacht Club south of Rockford with Scott. A9. Sugar Fox, Silver Fox. HC honorary check-in. Justin, K9. FEO. HC honorary check-in. One of the best guys in the whole world. He checked in last week. He didn't check in tonight, but he doesn't always check in on Friday nights, but he listens on Friday nights. I know that for a fact. Richard. N9ZO. valves are AC honorary checking. Oh, by the way, he's got cable for sale on 1,000 feet of cable. You want any? Give him a call, area code 815-547-8686. Area code 815-547-8686. Oh, I forgot to mention during the swap net portion. So, okay, who else? Oh, yeah, Ricky. W9RLT. Ricky, net control of the Winnebago County, Northern Illinois Skywarn training net whenever he gets a chance to have it. All right. KD9ICH. HC honorary check-in. Oh, yes. W9AXD HC honorary check-in. Talked to him early tonight. He was going to check in. We had a football game to work, so I got him down as an honorary check-in. Okay. K9N. Kurt, around where I'm present, HC honorary check-in. I got the ham rag in the mail yesterday, so okay. You know what? KD9YUK. Tony, HC honorary check-in. KC9ICH. Robert, HC honorary check-in. Okay. AH2I. Brad, HC honorary check-in. AC9JZ, Mike and Robert, AC honorary check-in. W9KLG, Kevin, HC honorary check-in. Let's see. KD9SSD. One moment, please. One moment, please. Okay, I got 3 more honorary check-ins. K9SSV Mike and Roscoe, and our Stevens County check-ins, K9LOA Brandon and Rural Lena, K9OBJ and John and Rural McConnell. John is taking up paramedic classes there, so, okay, and, okay, who else there? And last but certainly not least, George, N9WSQ, our club president here in the Stevens County Repeater Association. He has his own repeater, 147.300, PL of 88.5 minus offset, plus offset, I should say. That repeater is located just on a farm just outside Dakota, Illinois. The antenna is about 210 feet in the air on the top of a tall silo. Those are all I got a grand total of 42 check-ins overall. Okay. Does anybody have any further questions, comments, or input, or any traffic you'd like to bring for the net? Okay. We're about ready to bring this baby to a close here. I'll tell you what, be sure you tell your mothers, your fathers, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your grandparents, your in-laws, your neighbors across the street, down the street, next door. Be sure you tell your butcher, your baker, your candlestick maker. Be sure to tell the clerk behind the checkout counter of your grocery store. Be sure to tell the clerk behind the counter of your convenience store. Be sure to tell your waiters, your waitresses, and your bartenders, and your friendly neighborhood bars, restaurants, taverns, or pubs. Be sure you tell the clerk behind the counter at your local post office when you buy your stamps or envelopes. Be sure you tell your bank cashier. Be sure you tell your used car dealer, your new car dealer, your garage mechanic. Be sure you tell the members of your local PTA or PTO. Be sure you tell your probation officer, your parole officer, your divorce lawyer. Be sure you tell your priests, your ministers, your rabbis, your mullahs, your ayatollahs, or your imams. Be sure you tell your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your ex-boyfriends, your ex-girlfriends, your husbands, your wives, your ex-husbands, your ex-wives, your ex-in-laws, and of course your old ladies about the Friday Night Fun Net. More check-ins to better than that. Make sure you have valid FCC license before you check in. Well, we do not, sorry folks, we do not take check-ins from jailbirds, jammers, potty mouths, crackheads, dopeheads, potheads, telemarketers. If you sit in the clubhouse, take a knee or clench your fist when the national anthem is being played, we don't take your check-ins. If you don't back the boo, we don't take your check-ins. Plain and simple. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy the Friday Night Fun as much as I enjoy bringing it to you every Friday night. Great topic, great question about Radio Shack coming back. I'm for 100%. Hopefully it will take place, and well, it will take place. Hopefully there'll be a store located here in Freeport, as well as about 2 or 3 or 4 stores in the Rockford area. That'd be great. Okay, do we have any? This is the last call for any stations who want to check the Friday Night Fun Net from anywhere in the region without traffic. Please call K9GCR. Last call for Ratchet Jaw. Okay, I'm going to switch over to 443-750 to see if I can pick up Night Watch Net. Okay, tune in again next week, same time, same repeater for another edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. This will be our special Radio Expo edition. I'm going to ask everybody, are you going to go to buy stuff, or are you going to go to meet people, or both? That'll be the topic next Friday night. Until then, this is Jim, K9GCR, now closing out this Friday, September 15, 2023 edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. And return to the repeater of the frequency normal answer radio use at exactly 10:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 3 hours 15 minutes Zulu time with a count of 24 on-air check-ins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 18 honorary check check-ins, a total of 42 check-ins overall. This net is now closed, and repair is now open for normal after radio use. 730, everybody, have a good evening, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you on the different nets down the log. This is K9 GCR. I wish you all a very pleasant good night. 730. KD9MED, K9MED, K9 GCR.
KD9MED.
Go ahead and post it to my 2 hours, 15 minute net, and 42 check-ins overall.
All right, Jimmy, we'll go ahead and get her posted. KD9MED, clear on your final.
70 Mike, thanks for all you do, and I'm going to switch over to this 443-750, see if I can pick up Night Watch. 73, talk to you next Friday night. K9 GCR, be clear. Good night.